the next tree.
Well, we don't know yet. We'll come up with something.
Ray Summers at Large with photographer Jim Larson.
The Andersons' previous Christmas tree was made out of a stepladder.
Some ideas there that I would never have come up with. Thanks for watching. We're going to see you again for the news at 6.
Bye-bye.
Budget talks break down again. President Clinton blames extremist Republicans. Republicans blame him. Each side accuses the other of reneging on a deal. In New York, a jumbo jet skids off an icy runway after aborting takeoff in a snowstorm. We'll have the latest on the storm and the impact. And Eye on America. Tonight, moving the casino right into your home.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. The budget talks haven't budged. In truth, what little progress was reported 24 hours ago seemed to disappear tonight, and so did prospects for a return to work by 250,000 federal employees forced out on involuntary unpaid furlough. The president blamed it on, quote, extreme Republicans, still demanding, quote, deep and hurtful cuts in government help for the old and the poor. Rita Braver has the latest.
Good morning. Good morning.
The White House Chief of Staff was upbeat this morning as he and Republican negotiators met. But things went downhill fast. Budget talks collapsed after the powerful House Republican freshman, the vanguard of the Stop Big Government movement, balked at passing another short-term continuing resolution, a CR, to keep the government going. They want the president to agree to a 7-year budget deal first.
There's no reason to do another CR because the last one we did, he didn't keep his word, and I'm not going to be fooled twice.
From a freshman point of view, we say the status quo does not live here anymore.
President Clinton charged that the most extreme members of the House forced Republican leaders to back out of the agreement reached yesterday.
This is a very troubling development. A small minority in the House of Representatives is determined to keep the government closed until they get exactly their way. Their way is the wrong way for America.
For their part, Republicans charged that the president reneged on his promise to negotiate a balanced budget based on their economic evaluations. But late today, Mr. Clinton spoke by phone to House Speaker Newt Gingrich and Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole, and the two sides agreed to have their negotiators start talking again.
My view, we just ought to get on with it. We know what we have to do, and if we all want the same thing, which is a balanced budget, what Newt and I want, the president says he wants it, we think we can do it fairly quickly.
But after today's roller coaster ride, officials here are not willing to predict when or how any real progress can be made. Rita Braver, CBS News at the White House.
Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill, what is going on up there that's making it so difficult for everyone to just sit down and talk?
Well, Dan, nobody is going to tell you this on the record, but in private conversation, Republicans here, especially Republicans in the Senate, say that Speaker Gingrich has simply lost control of his caucus. He has lost control of some of those firebrands who believe the only way to negotiate is to agree with their position. Speaker Gingrich and Republican leader Dole had a late evening meeting and tried to put the best face on all of it and said they'd get the negotiations going again tonight to see what they could do. But at this point, the outlook is pretty bleak. The differences are so wide, not only between Republicans, Democrats in the White House, but between Republicans themselves. I don't think anybody can say at this point how this is going to come out.
Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill. No matter how the budget crisis is finally resolved, if it's resolved, the cost of medical insurance for many older Americans is going way up. Providers of what's called Medigap insurance have just announced big increases in premiums. CBS News economics correspondent Ray Brady has the facts and figures on this, Ray.
Dan, this could really complicate the budget fight. While Washington's arguing over how much Americans should pay for Medicare, many of the elderly face a huge jump in Medigap, the insurance from private companies that covers what Medicare doesn't.
Overall, the average premium will be going up 30%.
A 30% boost, and he's speaking for the biggest plan of all, jointly run by the American Association of Retired Persons and Prudential Insurance. All told, more than 25 million older Americans face similar increases from other Medigap plans.
Someone may drop the coverage, but their medical expenses would far exceed what they would have paid in the premium.
Why are their costs going up? Some experts say hospitals release patients faster, quicker, and sicker. But that means more visits to doctors, more outpatient care, where 20% of the bill is picked up by private Medigap policies. And that bill's been soaring.
We're now seeing that about $1 million a day increase in claims.
But critics say it was the threat of President Clinton's health care reform that kept insurance companies in check. When that plan died, the lid was off. While all this may complicate the budget talks for the politicians, it's the elderly who face a possible double whammy. Higher premiums for both Medicare and Medigap. Premiums that could force many aging Americans into HMOs, whether they want to go there or not. Dan?
In his office, Ray Brady. 28 people were injured at New York's Kennedy Airport today when a jumbo jet skidded off a runway. 400 people were aboard the Tower Air flight to Miami, taking off in a snowstorm. Officials said the pilot of the Boeing 747 experienced some unspecified problem and suddenly aborted the takeoff.
The next thing I knew, we were back on the ground, and it seemed like we were skidding and trying to come to a stop, but we were going fairly fast, and then it just jerked to a sudden stop.
People were just thrown from one side to the other. People, you sort of heard the voices escalate from a small ah to this huge scream. Luggage started to fall. I was hit with the luggage.
Kennedy Airport was closed for 4 hours after that accident, and that was only one effect of the huge storm that swept across the eastern United States near the peak of the pre-Christmas travel season. Jacqueline Adams has the weather story.
Airports across the eastern United States were hopelessly jumbled by the Northeast's widespread snowstorm.
I had one canceled flight, now I'm on a delayed flight.
Many of today's nearly 2 million holiday travelers had to wait and worry thanks to lengthy de-icings and intermittent closings at airports stretching from Maine to Miami.
I think the lowest point was when they told me that I probably wouldn't get in until Christmas Day.
Those delayed and canceled flights also forced officials at the U.S. Postal Service Command Center to improvise with 116 extra planes and 40,000 holiday workers on this, the busiest mail delivery day in history. At New Jersey's Fort Dix, though, the snow cover came in handy as 500 Army reservists trained for winter duty in Bosnia.
So we're going from Michigan in cold weather to New Jersey in cold weather to Germany in cold weather. So it all helps.
Overnight, some 10 to 15 inches of fluffy white powder blanketed the region, creating the kind of idyllic scenes that Christmas card illustrators dream of. And in New Hampshire, skiers and ski operators were positively giddy.
It'll be the first Christmas holiday in 10 years that we've had this kind of all-mountain skiing.
Though meteorologists believe these snow flurries and cold temperatures will last through Christmas, the worst for this region may be over. Their long-range forecasts say this winter should be warmer than normal. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, New York.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, correspondent Alan Pizzi is with U.S. troops as they cross the river into Bosnia. And later, is he a real-life Dirty Harry or just a good cop doing his job?
Always brought me luck.
White Diamonds, the intriguing fragrance from Elizabeth Taylor. Your gift with any $42 White Diamonds fragrance purchase.
You build a razor with a precision groove to help the Norelco lift and cut system shave closer than ever before. And what do you get? The Norelco razor, our closest shave ever.
On my really pounding headaches, Tylenol didn't always get rid of all the pain. I found that 2 Advil worked better than 2 Tylenol gel caps. For my tough headaches, Advil just works better. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
All clogged up? Can't breathe? Don't just treat your cold, unclog it. With Dristan cold tablets, it contains powerful medicines that unclog your cold while relieving sinus pain and pressure. So unclog your cold with Dristan.
After 4 years of some success, some failure, and much frustration, The United Nations folded its flag in Bosnia today and turned its peacekeeping mission over to a bigger and better armed NATO force led by the U.S. military. American troops were unloading more supplies in the snow at Tuzla today, but the main event was the removal of the UN sign outside the airbase. It is now an American base under NATO command. In Sarajevo, the American NATO chief, Admiral Leighton Smith, formally took charge. He said his troops will create a secure environment in Bosnia.
We're not here as a bunch of cowboys looking for a fight. We're here on a peaceful mission.
In many places, UN peacekeepers simply changed their hats as NATO took over. The British Royal Fusiliers put away their blue UN berets and whipped out their own plumed black ones.
And let no man stand in our way.
The first job for NATO is to demonstrate that it's the toughest force around and that it can go anywhere in Bosnia to keep the peace. The new American commanders went right to work on that today. Correspondent Alan Pizzi reports from the border of Bosnia and Croatia.
In a symbolic show of the new order, the first armor to cross the Sava River between Bosnia and Croatia was an ex-United Nations personnel carrier, now daubed with NATO camouflage paint. But just after it, and even more significantly, heading the other way into Bosnia, came the Americans. The commanders who will bridge the Sava River here so the bulk of U.S. troops can pour into Bosnia first surveyed the situation. Then they rolled onto the commercial ferry. Only half a dozen officers and about 20 soldiers without armor made the short and in its own minor way historic trip. But it was meant to convey a major message. Everyone should understand the U.S. role here is peace enforcement.
We want to ensure that they understand we intend to move through the region as necessary.
As if to underscore that, the American contingent walked straight through the Bosnian-Croat Customs and Immigration Post without passport or other formalities.
It's right here. Here's my visa.
For the record, the general's visa and the first American soldier over the Sava and into Bosnia was Sergeant Scott Jardine of Nashua, New Hampshire. Local commanders were brought in to meet the man in charge now, Major General William Nash and his senior officers.
My brigade commander, Colonel Fontenot, sir.
General Nash had traveled through Bosnian Serb, Croat, and Muslim territory.
We marched north and met with members of all the parties, and they were all good meetings.
Then, as darkness fell, the two American groups headed back to their respective bases in Bosnia and Croatia to get ready for the next move.
When American forces begin to deploy in earnest, up to 3,500 a week will come through this town. But for now, as senior officer said, the pace is more measured, because one lesson of history is that armies should not rush into the Balkans. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Orasha, Bosnia.
Coming up, a rare look inside the secret high-tech command post Colombian drug traffickers used to avoid capture.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Hoover, nobody does it like you.
How many times I told my dad to see a doctor? He was stubborn. But the pain in his stomach just wouldn't go away. He had to go. You should have seen the relief on his face when the doctor said Mylanta.
Mylanta is fast, soothing relief. In fact, even with all the new heartburn medicines available today, doctors recommend Mylanta most for heartburn and acid indigestion.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Mailboxes, etc. can pack and ship almost any gift. No job's really too large or too small.
I'm going to put some foam packaging material in the box.
I want to make sure that all of these areas are protected. We might double box it. You'd bubble wrap it. Oh, the bubbles. We'd put reinforced cardboard on here, tape it up, and ship it out. We'll get your packages there safely and on time.
I'll have to run over it with a forklift to break it. I shouldn't have said that.
Depend on mailboxes, etc. It's not what we do, it's how we do it.
Something's been overlooked in the design of women's razors. The woman. But there's one razor that adjusts to your legs and underarms, even bikini line. Norelco's Silhouette, the first razor designed to shave a woman where a woman shaves.
It began with her first credit card at age 18. Eventually, it nearly crushed her.
I really didn't know where I was going to get the money from. I didn't have the money.
And it was no accident. Who's giving young people with no way to pay all that credit? Fighting the debt dragon and losing tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
U.S. drug enforcement officials said today a new and powerful Mexican drug connection is getting ready to pick up and take over where somewhat fading Colombian drug thugs left off. As for how Colombian drug traffickers managed to elude capture for so long, turns out it's easy if you have the right equipment. Jim Stewart has the story and the first pictures of the Colombian computer connection.
For years, the drug cartels eluded every trap set for them, every police and army raid launched against them. And now the Drug Enforcement Administration thinks it knows how. A classified videotape just released of a Colombian cartel headquarters shows the gangs had more computer power and communications gear than many small nations. They traced every call made to the American embassy and listened to virtually every call made by the police.
Any phone calls that would go into a DEA agent, any phone calls into a Colombian National Police installation, they would follow that, and they'd follow the surveillance teams.
Looking for U.S. drug agents, they also monitored all of Colombia's air traffic and photographed every passenger arriving at the Cali airport, where the city's entire fleet of cab drivers spied for the cartels.
They had all of the air traffic controllers in the Cali area under their control. It's mind-boggling the power that this group had eventually amassed over 15 years.
The Colombian army fared no better. The cartel simply bought up all the property around the special anti-drug unit's camps and then knew immediately when they were on the move. The gangs didn't do all this by themselves. They hired a lot of help. According to the DEA, their computer experts came from the United States, their military experts were retired British officers, and their intelligence agents were retired Israeli Secret Service. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
In London, Buckingham Palace sources say tonight that Queen Elizabeth is angry over the feuding between her son, Prince Charles, and his estranged wife, Diana, that she's had enough and has told them both it's time to get a divorce. Charles has reportedly agreed. There's no word on Diana's reaction.
If you want relief from minor arthritis pain, turn up the heat on arthritis. Just minutes after applying ultra-strength Bengay, you can actually see the heat. It's the strongest, most advanced Bengay ever, with the heating power of 3 pain relievers. So turn up the heat on arthritis.
Hi, honey. I just want you to know that I was wrong. I love you.
I can't seem to forget you. Your wind song stays on my mind.
This year, we've given away more prizes than ever before.
Can you believe this?
But next month, you could win the big one.
Next month, the Publishers Clearinghouse Prize Patrol will surprise a new $10 million winner. Live on TV Sunday, January 28th. Will it be you?
Not me.
What will you say?
Holy cow!
Enter the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes now. And on Sunday, January 28th, the biggest winner could be you.
If you've been drinking Ensure, there's a little something you should know. Sustacal has more protein, less fat, and about twice as much calcium. No, Sustacal can't add years to your life, but it might help add life to your years.
Shopping for holiday fashion bargains?
This is exactly the same shirt.
No, it's not. Outlet prices too good to be true? What's the catch? 48 Hours investigates Thursday.
In a society such as ours, believing as we do in checks and balances on power, police and the way they do their jobs are always under intense scrutiny. The latest example involves the Minneapolis Police Department and a policeman who is accused of using excessive force, who denies it and is now fighting for his job. Correspondent Frank Courier has this police story.
Good morning. Welcome to KSTP.
Good morning, Barbara. Thank you.
If I'm in danger, I would like to have Mike Sorrow at my side. I mean, I want my cops tough.
People commit crimes. I take them to jail. I use whatever force is necessary.
Minneapolis Police Lieutenant Mike Sorrow is at the center of a controversial battle over police, politics, and the use of force.
A lot of people have never been in a physical conflict with somebody, and when it gets down to it, you've got to come out on top or you're going to die, or innocent citizens are going to die.
The 20-year veteran cop is fighting suspension from duty after collecting more than 30 citizen complaints of excessive force.
Anybody with 32 citizen complaints, there's a problem there. That's ridiculous.
In a 1991 case at this Twin Cities nightclub where Sorrow allegedly beat up a college student, the victim, Craig Mischie, sued, and a jury ordered the city to pay him $1 million.
I don't think you can get away with that conduct forever. He didn't in this case, and I don't think he's done with his consequences.
For many here in Minneapolis, Lieutenant Mike Sorrow has come to symbolize a growing perception of police brutality, what many critics call a Dirty Harry mentality. A surveillance tape released this week reveals a Minneapolis officer punching and kicking a handcuffed suspect. Another officer was relieved of his duties today for roughing up a cameraman at a Vikings game, then lying about the incident. And recently, a protester struck by a police baton during a demonstration was awarded $100,000.
People see those videotapes, and all of a sudden they start stereotyping their neighborhood cop. And these are those few that we spend so much of our time trying to root out of our organizations.
There's a big difference between excessive force and being tough, fair, and honest and trying to do your job.
And you've been tough, fair, and honest?
Yes.
In a move to restore confidence in a department rocked by scandal, Mike Sorrow and others are being put on notice that from now on, rogue cops and brute force are history. Frank Courier, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Researchers in New York tonight report finding graphic evidence in the Mongolian desert that ancient dinosaurs are related to modern birds. The experts say these remains of an oviraptor dinosaur and its eggs show classic brooding behavior. The dinosaur, just like a bird, used its upper body to enfold and protect its offspring and apparently died trying. Up next, Eye on America. Tonight, computer gambling. Losing money has never been easier.
Finally, great popcorn from your microwave. Presto Power Pop Microwave Multi-Popper. Pops virtually every kernel. Pop with oil, pop without oil. Nothing pops like Power Pop. That's why it's endorsed by Orville Redenbacher. From Presto. How about some cheese for your pizza or perfect salad shooter hash browns for breakfast? Vegetables sliced or shredded, and nothing tops a salad like Slicer Shredder from Presto.
Something wonderful is here to tempt you at breakfast. Kellogg's Honey Roasted Pecan Temptation Cereal. Roasted pecans, luscious golden honey, crisp, crunchy oven-baked flakes of corn. Kellogg's Temptation Cereal. Irresistibly delicious honey roasted pecans. And low-fat French vanilla almond too.
Oh, this is great.
Merry Christmas.
It's perfect.
Yes, there is a Santa, the Norelco Santa. Come to town with great gift ideas for the holidays, like the Maverick beard and mustache trimmer, for just the look he wants. The Norelco Speed Razor, for close and comfortable to go. Or Santa's favorite, the Norelco Triple Header, for our closest shave ever. The perfect gifts for the perfect look. Norelco brings you closer for the holidays.
Hi, honey. I just want you to know that I was wrong. I love you.
I can't seem to forget you. Your ring song stays on my mind.
When I wear my Super Poly Grip, I can eat apples. With my Super Poly Grip, I have no problems. It works. It holds. No one knows I wear dentures unless I tell them. I love Super Poly Grip.
President Clinton and Republicans in Congress tonight reportedly have settled final differences in a major overhaul of telecommunications in this country. At stake, billions of dollars, and what you will see in years ahead on free and pay television, such as cable, how it gets into your home, and what you'll pay for it. Tonight's compromise, among other things, reportedly would let television companies own more stations, but supposedly and hopefully prevent big monopolies from developing. Traffic on the information superhighway is increasing by the day, and all kinds of businesses are springing up to try to make a buck off of it. So the arrival of the electronic casino was probably inevitable. In tonight's Eye on America, Edie Magnus looks at gambling on the internet, for the better or the worse.
Feeling lucky? From riverboats to racetracks, bingo parlors to bookmakers, the luck business is big business in America.
But what if you didn't have to go all the way to a casino in Las Vegas or Atlantic City? What if all you had to do was stay here by the computer in your office or your home?
This is part of the future. You will be betting from your home.
Kerry Rogers' WagerNet promises to match up bettors on any sport, anywhere.
Hold the phone! Someone could be taking a bet in Finland and placing that wager against someone in Ecuador.
Rogers demonstrated how it would work. You must first wire money to an account, plus purchase a special security card. Take this imaginary basketball game.
Here we'll deal with Anaheim versus Buffalo. Over 234 points, I'll accept that bet. And I'll take it for $1,000. Click OK. As simple as that, a place to bet.
Simple, but illegal in the U.S. Federal laws outlaw using phone wires to gamble across state lines. To avoid prosecution, WagerNet, which opens this spring, will have its computers based in Belize. Internet casinos already operate from the Turks and Caicos, and Sports International in Antigua.
You now have the possibility of gambling in your home anytime you want.
Author Robert Goodman has chronicled what he calls the devastating financial toll gambling has on America. With cyberspace its next frontier,
this vastly increases the possibilities for addictive and problem gambling behavior, and it's going to suck enormous amounts of money out of the United States economy.
And legal or not, no one expects it can be stopped, since it's virtually undetectable.
A person could set up an account, send a wager off, and the odds of someone knowing about it are very slim.
Computer expert Colleen Anderson says there are already more than 300 gambling-related sites on the internet. You can play lotto in Liechtenstein.
They're accepting MasterCard or EuroCard.
And casino games.
Blackjack, craps, roulette.
All frighteningly easy in the new world of electronic cash.
Gambling on the internet is like the Wild West, so that means it's a free-for-all.
If it is like the Wild West, meet Wyatt Earp.
Look at here, sportsbook, lotteries, and free casino now open for business.
Minnesota's Attorney General Hubert Humphrey III has filed a lawsuit against Kerry Rogers and WagerNet.
We felt that rather than wait until people are harmed and people are lured into illegal activities in Minnesota, that we ought to take action now.
Humphrey says bettors better beware. They won't know if a computer game's rigged or if they'll ever collect winnings. Kerry Rogers, he points out, has been imprisoned for fraud. Rogers says Minnesota has no jurisdiction over cyberspace and, ironically, sees his criminal conviction as a security plus.
I believe that I'm uniquely qualified to create and present those safeguards.
The betting is, states may decide not to fight internet gambling, but embrace it, putting their own lotteries online. Americans already wager a whopping $500 billion annually. But that amount could look like pocket change if internet gambling really takes hold. In New York, this is Edie Magnus for Eye on America.
The Oregon Lottery.